How do you buy a home in New Jersey? To help you understand the home buying process, I have broken it down into 7 common steps. So let's talk about these steps right now. The process can vary slightly from one person to the next due to the many variables that are involved, but it usually goes something like this. Step number 1, determine your budget and research the market. Before you start out house hunting, going to open houses, do some basic budgeting math to determine how much you can afford to spend each month on your housing costs. Now keep it simple. You're just going to subtract your combined monthly expenses from your net income. Then you're going to work down from that number. And while you're at it, research the local housing market where you want to buy a new home. Pay particular attention to recent sale prices as well. Now this is going to give you a better idea of what kind of home you can afford. Now, step number 2 is research your mortgage options and choose what type of loan might be good for you. Now, early on in the home buying process, you'll want to research the different types of loans that are available to you as a New Jersey home buyer. You have quite a few choices to make, and there are pros and cons to all of them. Now, for example, if you're a first-time home buyer, you might look at an FHA loan program, and that offers a low down payment of 3.5%, but that requires mortgage insurance. So that's just giving you an example of the pros and cons of the different types of mortgages that are out there for you. Step number 3, get a pre-approval from a mortgage lender. Now, you can think of a mortgage pre-approval as kind of a financial pre-screening process. A lender will review your financial situation and they're going to determine if you are a good candidate for a loan. And they will be able to tell you how much you can afford to borrow. And it makes sense to do this early on because in New Jersey, for the home buying process, it allows you to narrow down your search on what properties you can afford. And you must have a pre-approval in order to submit an offer. Now, step number 4 is find an experienced realtor. I encourage any New Jersey home buyer to seek a professional for some guidance, especially from an experienced agent. This is very important, especially if you are going to be buying your first home. Now, in New Jersey, it's usually the sellers who pay the real estate commissions. So as a home buyer, there's really no reason to fly solo. An experienced agent can help you find a property, evaluate the price, put in an offer, negotiate with the other realtor, and we do so much more. Now, step number 5 is start the house hunting process. It's time to go out, go to open houses, and start looking for homes. But you'll notice that there were 4 steps that preceded this one, so please don't rush into the house hunting stage before you do any of these 4 steps above, and do some preliminary research. I highly recommend that you go through your budget before you shop, and then you're going to want to make a list of what you need and what you don't want. Remember to be flexible when buying a home in New Jersey because you have to make some compromise along the way. Now, number 6 is make an offer and negotiate with the seller. This is one of the most important steps in the home buying process because it's going to determine the amount you're going to pay for the house. And before you put an offer on paper, you want to evaluate the asking price to ensure that it's reasonable and affordable to you. Your realtor will do this by looking at recent comparable sales within the same area. And this is what realtors refer to as comps. And it's one of our specialties, which is why you should be using a realtor for representation when you are buying a house, a condo, or even a for sale by owner. Now, number 7 is close the deal and get those keys. From a buyer's perspective, closing represents the final step into the New Jersey home buying process. This is where you as the buyer and the seller are going to sign all the documents relating to the home and the sale. Now, this includes mortgage-related documents, tax records, deeds, and maybe there might be some other documents involved. So, and this is also where your realtor will get paid. And last but certainly not least, when you receive your keys to your new home, you are officially a homeowner of New Jersey. So welcome to New Jersey. and I hope you enjoy living here and all the things that this state has to offer. I'm Christine, your Bergen County Realtor. If you want to know more about the home buying process, my contact information is below. Now, if you want to know the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification letter, watch this next video here. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next Thursday when I post a new video.